Today, another one of President Trump's campaign promises on immigration and the border becomes a reality. As of 12:01 a.m., the president's expanded new travel ban is officially in effect. That means nationals of 12 countries are now banned from entering the U.S., and nationals of 7 other countries will face significant visa restrictions. Joining us now, Alan Orr, an immigration attorney. Thanks, Alan, for being here. First, this travel ban is just the latest piece of President Trump's historic immigration crackdown. You've had conversations with international students and what this ban means for them. What did they tell you?
That they're afraid. I think that the major thing, the ban in itself is just a message to the world about how the United States is not the place to be an international student anymore. And that's about $43 billion a year worth of income. So students are very concerned. Students outside of the country who have visas are allowed to return. Students who do not have their visas, who have been accepted, are now have to figure out where they're going to go to school next year. Students who are in the United States are worried about international travel. And I suggested to them that they don't travel at all.
Yeah, and this doesn't just apply to students. This travel ban prohibits people from these countries from even entering the U.S., kind of regardless of what type of visa they may have applied for or already have. The International Cardiac Alliance, which helps facilitate care for people with heart conditions, is warning that this ban will stall or cancel life-saving procedures for at least a dozen children and young adults from Haiti who were taken to the U.S. to receive care. What do you see as the ripple effects of this travel ban outside U.S. borders?
It's hate and confusion across the board. This is not something that had to happen. The reasons behind it are not substantiated. I think that the legal standing of this is a little bit stronger because we learned, or the administration learned from its Supreme Court's failures before and tailored this a little bit differently. But let's be specific about what this travel ban speaks to. It speaks to African countries and the Middle Eastern countries specifically. And then the 7 other countries are in the Caribbean, which are also mostly Black immigrant countries. So it's a very focused sort of agenda here, along with ending TPS and the other. It's about harm to the world and a certain type of immigrant message that it's sending, that we don't want you to come here regardless of the disruption, because these individuals add the 300,000 that are probably impacted based on the American Immigration Council's finding is about $2.5 billion worth of income for the United States that we're sort of turning away.
We do know that there are some exceptions to the travel ban. So there are some people from those specific countries that will have an opportunity to come here. But again, those exceptions are few and far between. And of course, it's concerning to see for a lot of people from those countries it applied at all. I want to get your reaction to the standoff we're seeing in Los Angeles between demonstrators and immigration authorities. This marks the first time in 60 years that a president activated a state's National Guard force without first a request from the governor. How significant and potentially historic is this?
So as a Black American from the South, it's very significant because the last time this was done, it was to protect the rights of African Americans in this country trying to integrate into our society. And in this way, we're pushing people away from the society. So this is a punch down. So it's very disturbing to me. And I think as we think about this, this did not have to happen. One of the other things, the major choice that we could do is roll back to immigration reform and sort of do immigration enforcement the way we have under the previous administrations. The previous Trump administration, you did not see cops in the street with masks and guns. This is an escalation to cause problems, which is a drama-filled world because we're not taking criminals off the street. You see them arresting waitresses and people going to school, everyday business. This is not what was promised. And most importantly, let's think about the cost. Cost-benefit analysis has to be enacted here. The National Guard, they're just standing in front of ICE officers, costs tons of money. If you looked at what happened at the border, we know that it lowers morale, very expensive, and doesn't help national readiness to defend the nation.
Alan Orr, appreciate your perspective. Thank you very much for joining us.